This is AfroEconomics with J.B. Bryan. AfroEconomics is a strategic financial management program designed for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad. Women in Wealth, Part 1. Yes, we've got a two-parter. Check out this first part, though. Stay with me. Today's message is especially for the sisters. As Black women, we face unique financial challenges, and there are some things we need to realize and accept if we want to overcome them effectively and with grace befitting the queens that we are. There are quite a few major obstacles that can stand between us and the wealth that we deserve. Today, we're going to talk about just 5 of these things I want us to overcome. We'll also discuss some strategies for destroying those financial obstacles and getting everything that we deserve in life. Let's look at the first challenge. We need to recognize and acknowledge that many of us are the primary or even the only income earner in our households. The most recent data from the American Center for Progress, they found that 41% of mothers are the sole or primary breadwinners. That number is even higher for us as Black mothers. Being the big earner in your family isn't itself a financial challenge, but being the only person bringing in a paycheck could be a financial challenge. It is essential that we make a commitment to financial empowerment, both for ourselves and for our families that depend on us. It's up to us to take responsibility for our family's financial success. And AfroEconomics Principle number 2, Self-Reliance. The time for us to become financially independent is now. It's extremely important that we equip ourselves with financial knowledge, tools, and resources that can help us move towards financial independence and move away from a life of debt. We have a responsibility, ladies, to build ourselves up. We have a responsibility to support one another and our families. That means we have a responsibility to separate ourselves from negative people and negative situations. Let's look at a second challenge. On average, women spend less time in the workforce than men. That's mostly because of our children. We take time off, or you take maternity leave, or you work fewer hours because you have to take care of the children or pick them up. And those are definitely legitimate and good decisions. But it pulls away from our working time. But you have to keep in mind that time that we're not working, that's time when we're not earning. So even if it's just 2 months that you take out for maternity leave, that's time that you're not able to move forward financially. I think I took about 2 hours for maternity leave. That was about it. We often make financial sacrifices to make sure that we're raising our kids properly and it's real for us. How do we overcome this? When we're earning less, you must make sure that you adjust your spending habits during a time when you're not earning as much money as before. Being a wife and a mom is hard work, but I want you to know retail therapy, ladies, is not the answer. There's no real such thing. There's nothing therapeutic about being broke. Therapy is peace of mind and freedom from debt. You can't afford to try to keep up with the Joneses or try to smooth over stress by buying unnecessary items. Let's keep striving for our long-term financial goals, regardless of what's going on in your life. Check out this third financial challenge that we face: income inequality. Research shows that men earn on average 17% more than women doing the exact same jobs. And Black women tend to be the lowest paid out of everyone. So the spread, unfortunately, is getting even larger. You may say that there's nothing you can do about that it's a man's world, like James Brown said. But we can do something about income inequality. And we're going to continue to address that in future podcasts about how we're going to increase our income in our part 2 of our Women in Wealth. A big part of the reason that men earn more than women is because, in general, men are more comfortable when it comes to talking about money. They tend to be more confident in selling themselves to their employer to get that raise. So you can either work on your confidence, which we're going to do, or we're going to prepare to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. We're not going to do that. So what I'm asking us to do is to get comfortable with asking for what you want. A fourth challenge is that, according to research, divorce hits women harder than men. And we have to be mindful of that. Never sabotage your financial independence in a relationship. It's sad to say, but many marriages don't work out. While the husband is building his career and growing professionally, unfortunately, too many wives aren't doing the same. You do not have to make all of the sacrifices in the marriage. You need to have a mutual ability to grow. And if you are divorced, you want to keep in mind that the non-custodial parent can work a second or third job to pay that child support to you. But you having custody, you're limited in the amount of hours that you can actually work. So maximize your working time. The advice here is twofold. Marry smart and avoid divorce by any means possible. Nourish your marriage, but don't give up on professional growth just because you're a wife and a mom. Now, let's look at this final challenge. Not that we don't have a lot more than this, but let's look at the fifth challenge, let's say. Women live longer than men. It's a blessing, but we do live longer. That means we need to make sure that our money lasts as long as our life does. If you work less, earn less, and live longer, ladies, then you must make sure that you take your financial decisions seriously. If not, you may fall into poverty during your old age, and we don't want that. Again, this is a reality that we have to think about, and it's a reality for too many of us. So the sooner, the better that we start taking these serious steps of AfroEconomics. Take it seriously. Look at your legacy. Look at your financial independence. Look at your credit. Look at your savings. Take every aspect of your financial life seriously. As a woman, and especially as a Black woman, we have to prepare financially. Make sure you have the proper life insurance, for example. Make sure you have it set up and enforced. In fact, you may want to consider even long-term care protection for your old age, and make sure that you're preparing for your saving and investing on how you will live when you decide that you want to stop working at the point of retirement. As a queen, you have a responsibility to be financially wise and financially independent. Remember, our families are watching. And that's AfroEconomics, and I'm JB Bryan, #AfroEconomics. Today's podcast was powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics in Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and New York. Don't forget to subscribe to AfroEconomics with JB Bryan on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and any other podcast directory. If you like what you hear, leave me a 5-star review. I'm JB Bryan, and that's AfroEconomics at AURN.com.